But first, he was once one of the most powerful Democrats in Washington. But now, former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez from New Jersey is headed to prison. And no surprise, he's not happy about it. What he just said about President Trump may surprise you. And good evening, everyone. I'm Bill Ritter.
I'm Sandra Bookman in today for Sade. Robert Menendez sentenced to 11 years in prison late this afternoon after being convicted in an international bribery scheme. Among the evidence, gold bars, stacks of cash, and a luxury car. Eyewitness News reporter Anthony Carlo live in Lower Manhattan with what Menendez is now calling for. Anthony?
Well, that's right. A former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez begged and pleaded that the federal judge would take his 50 years of public service into account. But in the end, Judge Sidney Stein blatantly called Menendez corrupt. No, he did not get the 15 years that federal prosecutors wanted, but at 71 years old, Bob Menendez is headed to prison for 11 years. It was a sobering outcome for a disgraced politician whose defense outside the court was that this was political warfare.
This whole process has been nothing but a political witch hunt.
Former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez tearfully telling the judge, "You have before you a chastened man, chastened by the jury's stinging verdict. I dedicated my entire life to serving the public. I have lost everything I ever cared about." You stood at the apex of our political system, Judge Stein told Menendez. Somewhere along the way, you lost your way. Working for the public good became your good. Somewhere along the way, you became a corrupt politician. 11 years was the sentence for taking bribes of gold bars, a luxury car, and hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash. Crimes that include acting as an agent of the Egyptian government. 2 New Jersey businessmen convicted of paying the bribes were also sentenced. Will Hanna was handed just over 8 years in federal prison and must pay a fine of $1.25 million. And Fred Davies was sentenced to 7 years in federal lockup and ordered to pay $1.75 million. Davies told the judge the verdict left him borderline suicidal, to which the response was, "You are an American success story. You grew up in a refugee camp in Lebanon, but there's a dark side to what you have done." The trial focused on Menendez's dealings with Egyptian officials and his quest to aid 3 men who showered him with lucrative gifts. The former senator always maintained his innocence, claiming his interactions were normal for the head of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee and that he always put American interests first. His position today did not change.
I am innocent, and I look forward to filing appeals on a whole host of issues.
And originally, the defense had recommended 2 years in prison to the judge, but once they saw what happened to Menendez's co-defendants, they upped that recommendation to 8 years. Again, former U.S. Senator Bob Menendez getting sentenced to 11 years in federal prison. The trial for his wife, Nadine, who's charged with many of the same crimes, is scheduled to start in March. We're live for now in Lower Manhattan. Anthony Carlo, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.